OK, to what's been a very significant day so far. 3 big updates for you as well. Manchester United in advanced talks with Leipzig over a deal for Benjamin Sesko, and Liverpool have agreed to sell Darwin Núñez. And the breaking news in the last half an hour relates to Alexander Isak. So let's get straight to Keith Downey, shall we? Keith, really good to see you. I know you've been in touch with this story throughout this ongoing saga. We're up to another incident, another chapter of this debacle. Bring us exactly up to date about what is happening here with Alexander Isak.
Yeah, debacle is the first time I've heard that word, but it's actually quite a good description, Jess, I have to say. 2 players' names that you mentioned there, Darwin Núñez and Benjamin Sesko, are all linked to this, or potentially linked to this Alexander Isak situation. Of course, this all started a couple of weeks ago when Alexander Isak failed to travel with the Newcastle first team squad on their pre-season tour of Asia. He then decided to have a solo trip to Spain with his own backroom staff, his own individual staff, and get some rehab and some training there, really against the wishes of Eddie Howe and his backroom team at Newcastle. Eddie Howe said he found out about that trip through the media, so the optics of that weren't good. As we know, Isak returned on Saturday to the northeast. The Newcastle first team squad returned on Monday. They were given yesterday off, and they're back in training just a couple of hundred yards over to my right hand side this morning. Eddie Howe has decided that he wants to have a kind of gathering, friends and family bonding session at the training ground today. So once the players finish training, which is just about now, I think, the players' families and children, wives, partners are all invited into the training ground for lunch and activities for the kids, just to try and ensure that everyone is together. Now, this isn't a new thing. They have it quite often here at Newcastle, but I think the timing of it interesting, given everything that's going on with Benjamin Sesko and Alexander Isak. But interestingly, Isak has been told to report once the gathering has ended. So he's to report late afternoon here to the training ground, where he will receive treatment and maybe train on his own as the first part of, I guess, trying to reintegrate him into the squad, because he's been posted missing for the best part of the last 2 weeks. So interesting that wasn't Alexander Isak's decision. That was the decision of the manager, Eddie Howe, and the club, that Isak should turn up later on today once the rest of the players and their families have left.
OK, Keith, thank you for that update. But this comes, of course, as Newcastle seem to be losing out in the race for Benjamin Sesko. Is that the case? And how much would that add to this sense of frustration around this current transfer window?
Yeah, look, it's been a frustrating summer for Eddie Howe, for the players, I think, as well, who wanted to see new players arrive and help, because they've got a Champions League season coming up. We've only seen Anthony Elanga and Aaron Ramsdale on loan so far, but more than anything, the supporters, who were expecting a number of signings this summer. This was the summer where Newcastle was supposed to strengthen, and as we know now, they've gone for a number of players and just missed out on pretty much everyone they've gone for, bar Ramsdale and Elanga. You know, the likes of João Pedro and Liam Delap, who have gone to Chelsea. If Manchester United get Benjamin Sesko over the line, their front 3 next season, Mbeumo, Sesko and Cunha, are 3 players that Newcastle liked and certainly tried and got far on with 2 of them in the shape of Sesko and Mbeumo. So by my last count, there was 8 players that Newcastle have just missed out on. So it's been a bruising summer for them. Really difficult to take, and I think this will be the hardest one of all, seeing Benjamin Sesko join Manchester United, and it feels as though that one is probably 75% done. It feels as though that is the direction, although Newcastle haven't had a direct rejection from either Leipzig or the player. It sounds, from all the noises we're hearing, that Sesko prefers a move to Manchester United over Newcastle, and that despite Newcastle's offer for the player being more than what Manchester United put on the table.